You are not your thoughts, but you live as if you were. A thought appears, and immediately you step inside it. You don't observe it. You don't question it. You become it. The thought says, "This is bad," and your body tightens. The thought says, "This is dangerous," and your heart accelerates. The thought says, "This means something about me," and your identity reacts. All of this happens before you realize that a thought has even occurred. This is not because you are naive. It is because identification is automatic. From a very early age, you learn to treat thoughts as facts, not as events, not as internal signals, but as truth. So when a thought appears, it doesn't feel like something you have. It feels like something you are. I am angry. I am anxious. I am not enough. I am falling behind. Notice the structure. The thought does not say, "Anger is present." It says, "I am angry." The language already reveals the confusion, because the moment you say, "I am," the thought becomes identity, and identity demands defense. This is where the problem begins, not with the content of the thought, but with your relationship to it. Thoughts are not neutral. They are interpretations. They comment on reality. They label it. They reduce it. But when you are identified with thought, you stop seeing interpretation as interpretation. You experience it as perception. You don't say, "I am thinking that this situation is threatening." You say, "This situation is threatening." You don't say, "I am thinking that I am being rejected." You say, "I am being rejected." This collapse between thought and reality is what gives thoughts their power. Because once a thought is experienced as reality, your body must respond. The nervous system does not debate. It reacts. So the thought triggers emotion. The emotion triggers behavior. And later the mind builds a story to explain what already happened. You call that sequence me, but it is not you. It is a process, a very fast one. And the faster it runs, the more invisible it becomes. This is why you don't notice identification. It feels seamless. It feels like consciousness itself. But consciousness does not argue. It does not judge. It does not panic. Thought does. And when you mistake thought for self, you inherit all of its urgency, all of its fear, all of its certainty, without questioning where it came from. Most thoughts are not original. They are recycled. They are echoes of past experiences, past emotions, past conclusions. But when you are identified with them, they feel new. They feel personal. They feel like insight. This is why people say, "I know myself." What they often mean is, "I know my recurring thoughts." But knowing your thoughts is not the same as knowing yourself. Because thoughts are conditioned. They were shaped by family, culture, early experiences, moments of pain, moments of protection. You didn't choose most of them. They were absorbed. And once absorbed, they began to speak in your voice. That is the trick. A thought sounds like you, so you assume it is you. But the fact that something speaks in your voice does not make it true. It makes it familiar. Identification is familiarity mistaken for identity. And as long as you are identified, you cannot see the pattern because you are inside it. Trying to analyze thought while being identified with thought is like trying to see your own eyes without a mirror. No matter how intelligent you are, you cannot step outside what you believe yourself to be. So the problem is not negative thinking. The problem is believing that thinking defines you. Disidentification does not mean stopping thought. That would be impossible. Thought is a function. It appears, it comments, it disappears. The shift happens when thought is seen instead of believed. When a thought arises and you notice, this is a thought, not this is who I am, that noticing creates distance, and distance creates choice. You may still feel the emotion, you may still feel the impulse, but you are no longer inside it. You are aware of it. That awareness is subtle, but it changes everything, because awareness does not need to fight thought. It does not need to replace it. It only needs to see it. And the moment a thought is seen clearly, it loses its authority. Not because it disappears, but because it is no longer confused with self. You begin to realize you are not the voice in your head. You are what hears it. You are not the story being told. You are what notices the story. And that distinction is the foundation of inner freedom. Not control, not suppression, not positivity, clarity. This is not philosophy. It is a direct observation you can verify in yourself. The moment you stop being your thoughts, they still exist, but they no longer decide who you are. This is inner cognition.